From the Balcony by Forestine C. Bynum. Overlooking my balcony, I often saw a gathering of women and children, mothers with babies tucked tightly in their arms. They were quiet, rather orderly, not causing a disturbance. Walkers passed by politely busying themselves as not to see, scurrying, catch the bus, or get to their cars. I saw women taking turns scavenging through a dumpster nearby I hadn't noticed before, for food. The only sound heard was a tiny cry asking, "Mommy, when will we get food?" And a voice saying, "Feed my people. Feed my people." And a mother's soft voice replying, "Tomorrow. Tomorrow, my child. I hope. Tomorrow. Tomorrow."
Hello, and welcome to the 8th annual Sharing the Harvest. I'm your host, Joseph Hypes, Director of Development at the Merced County Food Bank. And on behalf of everybody at the food bank, our staff, our board of directors, we welcome you for tuning in tonight to this telecast here at 510 Bistro, where we're getting food out to our donors for pickup, for delivery, all for a good cause, to raise funds for the Senior Brown Bag Program, a program which currently provides healthy, nutritious food to our seniors in our county twice a month. Now tonight, we are going to be fundraising all night. Now the link on the bottom of the screen will take you to an auction page. Now we're doing a fun to need on that page, but aside from that, we've got some very fun special items, events, and other things that you can bid on, because all the proceeds on that page are going to go to this program. So we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. We've got some entertainment, we've got some educational information about the food bank, about the brown bag program, and a few other things that you can enjoy all night while you're enjoying your food. Some of you may have desserts, and while you're bidding in those auctions. Because tonight, our goal is $100,000 to raise for our seniors. And I think we can do it. We just need your help.
I was sitting in my Rotary Club and we had a program from the food bank, and our director came at that time and spoke to our club and updated us on what the good things that the food bank was doing for our community. But specifically, there was one program that really caught my attention, and it was the Senior Brown Bag Program. She was telling a story about how senior citizens that are low-income individuals that have to sometimes choose between, do I get food or do I get medicine? Do I pay the rent or do I nourish my body with healthy food? And so the Senior Brown Bag Program is a program that delivers 2 bags of good groceries twice a month to the senior citizens to provide them that gap. Because for a lot of these folks, they have more month than money and they have to make those hard choices. So she was telling us a story about how one of the seniors had called in and said, "Is my delivery coming today?" And the worker who answered the phone said, "No, ma'am, we're not coming today. We'll be there tomorrow." And she hung up with her, and the director overheard that conversation, and she was curious, and she asked her worker, "Did you ask her, that lady, if she has enough for today?" And the worker, of course, didn't think to ask that because everybody has enough food for today, right? But she said, "No, I didn't." And so the director had called that senior citizen up and said, "Ma'am, I heard your conversation with my worker. Are you going to be okay? Do you have enough for today until we get there tomorrow?" And she said, "Well, I have a can of cat food and a couple tortillas. I'll be okay." Well, needless to say, as I'm hearing this, tears started streaming down my eye, and I was like, this is not possible here in Merced, where we're the breadbasket to the world, great agricultural community that we are. And so thankfully the director went to that lady's house and supplied her cupboards with enough food so she can take care of herself. These are common stories that we hear, but these are the ones that really drew me in to help the Senior Brown Bag program. At that time, I was coaching 8th grade boys in football, and I was so struck by what I heard that day that I took it to them and told them after practice what I'd heard at my Rotary Club, and said, what do you guys want to do about this? This is our community. And these 8th grade boys who were practicing for their championship week, had gone undefeated throughout their football season, were getting ready for their Super Bowl. They said, Coach, let's have a food drive. And this was on a Tuesday night. And by Thursday's practice, they had brought in over 1,200 pounds of food to deliver to the senior citizens of our community. That's how it started, was just the goodwill of these young people.
When you need a hand, we all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when I'm not strong. When I'm not strong, 'cause I'll be your friend. Be your friend. And I'll help you carry on. For it won't be long. It won't be long. I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. If there is a load that you have to bear, that you can't carry, I'm right up the road, and I'll share your load if you just call me. You just call me. Call me if you need a friend. Call me. We all need somebody to lean on.
I'm so sorry. I broke character. That's all right. Got a little chuckle in there.
Food banks are the main supply chain to the front line of hunger. They are the central hubs for helping the hungry. They're where businesses, producers, food growers, manufacturers, and dedicated community members like you donate food that gets stored, sorted, repackaged, and distributed to over 100 partner agencies who feed those in need in our local communities every day. As a food bank servicing Merced and Mariposa County, We collect and distribute food to hunger relief agencies all over the community. Partners such as food pantries, soup kitchens, emergency shelters, senior feeding programs, school pantry programs, and more who work in our neighborhood to bring food directly to those in need. We rely on teams of volunteers for our day-to-day operations, inspecting the food that comes in daily for food safety and FDA guidelines, storing it for maximum shelf life, and sorting, labeling, and helping distribute the food to our partners. And we rely on donors like you, people who donate time and food to help us feed those in need in our local communities. Your donation helps us supply food to our neighbors and those in need every day. We prevent a senior citizen from having to choose between food or medicine, a mom from having to choose between bus fare for work or feeding her family, a working father of 3 from having to choose between his mortgage payment or buying food for his kids. When you volunteer or donate food to a food bank, you support the 1 in 7 people who need help in our region. You help us fight hunger on the front lines, and you help us work to end hunger in America for good.
Hi, my name is Bill Gibbs. I'm the Executive Director of the Merced County Food Bank, and I'd like to give you a tour of our facilities here. This is the storage facilities. It's 31,000 square feet of a warehouse. So what you see in front of you here, all this area here is for our pantry partners. So when the pantry partners come here to shop, they actually have a menu that they've selected for the people that they serve. They come here, they pick up their food, and then they take it back and they distribute it at their facility. So between us and our partner agencies, we serve somewhere around 17 to 22,000 people per month here. So this room is what we refer to as the USDA room. So you can see that it's all nicely stacked and palletized material that comes from the USDA. And so this is some of the food that goes out to the USDA commodity sites once per month. And then over here on this side is our donated food. So this is some of the food that comes from our Feeding America partners. So like Walmart, Safeway, Costco, a lot of the Feeding America member agencies donate food to us that they don't use in the store, and then we distribute that to the low-income people in the community. All right, so now let's check out the cold box and you can see some of the other food that we get. So this is about the least amount of food that you'll ever see in this cold box. So this cold box is about 5,000 square feet of refrigerated and frozen food items. And as you can see here, it's usually, this will be stacked up 3 pallet positions high, all the way back to the back wall. But because it's off season and there's actually a lot of supply chain issues going on right now, a lot of our Feeding America partners aren't giving us a lot as they used to. And the producers there's nothing really growing right now, so it's pretty slim right now, but usually it's a lot more than this. So one of the things that people most often ask about food banks is the shared maintenance fee. So a shared maintenance fee basically is what a cost is for a partner agency, those nonprofit faith-based organizations that feed low-income people who are food insecure we talked about earlier. When they come here, they pay for food. So it's 17.5 cents a pound for steak or butter. So it doesn't matter what it is, it's just 17.5 cents a pound. That is an industry standard throughout the United States. So it's nothing different here than it is somewhere else. There's one exception to that here. Fresh produce is completely free. There's no cost to our partner agencies for any type of fresh produce, vegetables or anything, because we don't want any barriers from getting that good quality food out into the community. One of the most unknown facts that we've had here at the food bank is during the last 2 years, we've actually done away with the shared maintenance fee. So where it used to cost people 17.5 cents a pound to come and buy food here, for the last 2 years, it's been 0. So some of that money that people support us with, we pass that on to our partner agencies so that they actually don't have any cost to get their food from us. All right, so let's get back outside where it's a little bit warmer. Most people are kind of surprised how big the warehouse is, how many people that we actually serve every month. And it's not surprising to us to hear that a lot, but it is kind of shocking sometimes that people don't understand the gravity of the food issues in our community. There are roughly about 51,000 people who are food insecure in our community every single day. And most of us, if you're not dealing with hunger, if you've never been affected by hunger, it's just something you see in the background. It's not something that's actively involved in your life. It is our life here, and and we affect the lives of people around us through our work. So this is our 8th annual Senior Brown Bag event, and we thought that it would be making a dent in the problem. Unfortunately, over the last 2 years, the problem has gotten significantly worse with the rising inflation costs, with supply chain issues. Everything is costing more money, and our seniors are literally paying the price. Many of them lived on a fixed income, and they have to give up food or decrease the quality of their food in order to pay for their regular rent, utilities, gas, insurance, whatever else they're paying for. They have less discretionary income. So we encourage you to help us. You can go to our website, listed below, and you can look at all the opportunities that you can help, and we appreciate that, and we are very thankful for your support.
Now don't forget, our auction ends at 10 p.m. You have until then to make as many bids as you want, and all the proceeds from the auction will go to the Senior Brown Bag Program. And you can help out a senior tonight. Our Fund to Need is also on the auction. You can help feed a senior for an entire year for just $80.
Flaming
we've still got the auction up and running, and one of the fun things up for bid tonight is Food Bank Chopped. It's offered up by 510 Bistro, in which two people get to compete in a mystery box challenge to create an entree and an appetizer. They've got 75 minutes to do so, and it's a great time to have for a party for your friends, your family, your coworkers, anything like that. And we kind of thought it was applicable to sort of our senior brown bag program because, a lot of times they don't know what they're going to get in these brown bags. Food that gets donated, what we're able to buy on the open market, we give them, and they get these bags, and from what they receive, they have to create their own meals, kind of like a mystery box. So tonight, we are going to present to you our version of Food Bank Chopped. We've got two great competitors. They don't know what's in the box we're going to give them, and they got to create a meal. Check it out. For the special event, we've got two amazing contestants to compete in our Chopped competition. Please welcome chef, owner of 510 Bistro, Robert Matsuo, and Mayor Matt Serrato. Gentlemen, welcome to the event. So, Rob, you do a little bit of cooking. I mean, you do own a restaurant.
Yes.
When was the last time maybe you actually stepped into the kitchen to cook for your patrons?
Probably the last time we stepped in the kitchen is probably about 4 years ago.
Which is probably really good news for Mayor Serrato here. So Matt, do you do any cooking from time to time, or what is your culinary technique?
Recently, right now, culinary technique, I use a microwave very well to reheat food, mostly. No, I don't do a lot of cooking. In the past, I've done a lot of cooking when I was a lot younger, but I used to cook quite a bit, not so much anymore. Usually kind of bulk cafeteria style because I used to eat a lot, so I would always cook a bunch of food at once, kind of for the week, but I've done a lot of eating.
I'm honestly excited to see the both of you cooking here tonight. 75 minutes on the clock. Mayor Serrato, you're gonna get a head start, and go.
See, no, I wouldn't want an advantage. Well, I want a fair shot, I want to take on the best in a fair duel.
I'm trying to debate on how to make an appetizer. I think I got that entree set. How to incorporate, I want to try to incorporate all 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 ingredients. I'm trying to incorporate 11 ingredients for dinner, or for the entree. So I'm trying to figure out how to make that.
All right, got a little orange juice going. We got the chicken marinating. Thank you, sir. So my parents are great cooks, and my grandparents were fantastic cooks. So my grandma's French, and my grandpa Italian and Irish. So with the cooking, though, he was focused on the Italian side. So having that with my grandparents, every time when I was in high school, I would drive to high school, and then my grandparents' house was between my high school and my parents' house. So I'd come, home from practice, and then leave practice, after school, go to school, go to baseball practice, come home, and when I'm driving back to my parents' house, I'd always stop at my grandparents first, have a couple plates of food there, then after that, go home to my parents' house for another dinner right there. But they were growing up, we'd always cook, my parents would always cook, they'd always eat together. Big thing, the family would always have dinner together. We rarely ever ate out, rarely. Parents weren't into it, they were always sent a home cooked meal, still are to this day. They're great cooks.
Where's your mind going right now?
I'm thinking I want to slice up this naan. I kind of want to focus on the ingredients. I want to do this right? I don't want to cheat. I want to focus on the ingredients that you guys have brought, and I want those to be the centerpiece of this extraordinary meal. So I'm thinking I'm going to take the naan, and if I can slice it, if I can't do it, it's not going to work. But we're serving for two, so I'm thinking of cutting this in half, slicing it open, making like a naan pocket. So we're going to put chicken. I'm going to add some of this bacon. that's the case, I'm gonna start boiling. Oh,
Now you're cooking.
cooking with gas. I like the potatoes actually. I'm just making it tougher for Matsuo here. I'm setting up traps. I'm booby trapping this whole thing right here. Establishing territory. And I'm booby trapping all this.
I'm gonna be honest, I have seen many chop competitions happening here. I have never seen someone play defensively the way that you're doing, and I think it's a brilliant strategy. Robert Matsuo, you have 60 minutes on the clock. There you go. Now we've got two chefs working in the kitchen.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
You have the can opener, Matt?
Yeah, it's right there.
Where'd it go? There it is.
I should have said the can opener was out at in the courtyard.
It's true, you could have hid the can
I
opener.
should have done that. I didn't realize he was going to go right to the
Should
can
have hit
opener.
it. Should have hit it.
Caught me off guard and I told him the truth.
It would have taken him 15 minutes of his 60 to either find
Yep.
it or go
Yep.
the route of the knife.
I was thinking about it now.
Hey, potatoes. Let me help some of these out. Let me move some of these potatoes.
So I'm not entirely sure either one of them knows what they're doing with the ingredients, but what they're doing with the ingredients separately, it's actually very cool and very tasty from what I've been able to try out. How they put it together, no clue. They've got 2 plates and under 25 minutes left. Does anyone know what dish they're actually doing?
I do not yet. I do not.
Seniors on the Brown Bag program are constantly faced with difficult decisions. With rising rent, utilities, gas prices, medicine, food is always the first thing to go. That's where the food bank comes in. The Senior Brown Bag program, providing groceries twice a month, helps make those decisions a little bit easier. But during 2020, during the pandemic, suddenly they were faced with more difficult decisions because they weren't able to leave their house. That is where one of our presenting sponsors came into play. United Way of Merced County stepped in to make a difference. They helped create a distribution chain which delivered groceries with other partners in our community so that seniors wouldn't have to go hungry. To everybody at the United Way, thank you. Check this out.
When COVID hit, we in the community with the food bank, we had no idea what was going to happen. We also had no idea the repercussions of it going for so long, what it was going to do to the people who already suffer from food insecurity within our county.
A lot of our seniors, they were not eating. They would eat one meal a day because there was not food. They didn't want to go to the store, and they were panicking.
With our partnership with United Way, we were able to receive funding that helped us purchase nutritious foods that went out to the senior citizens.
We were looking at the potential lockdown coming real soon here, and we had an important meeting on how are we going to work remote, what is this going to look like, what things do we need to change, and then one of the aspects of it that we wanted to figure out is, how can we get involved, how can we help?
They also helped us set up the delivery service because seniors had trouble getting access to food. They couldn't get in their cars and drive to the food bank. They couldn't get in their cars and drive to a pantry partner. In a lot of circumstances, they were stuck. They couldn't go anywhere.
And that was it right there. We said, well, let's reach out to Bill Gibbs, Janet Casper, at the food bank, and let's see if we can run deliveries.
So again, we worked with the United Way and with the food bank, and we were able to get some boxed food, and that allowed us to take and deliver the boxes of foods to the seniors. And we were doing the porch drops.
And it kind of spun up from there, and by the next week we were down getting our thumbs live screened at the county, and then we were loading up our vehicles, and our entire team really got on board, and we've been making these deliveries every 2 weeks since the real start of the pandemic here.
A day didn't go by that we didn't get a telephone call thanking us, and how safe the seniors were beginning to feel because they weren't having to leave their homes and were able to go ahead and have more than that one package of oatmeal that they were eating that was sustaining them for the entire day.
I do have one lady that's on my route. I won't say her name, but I think for confidentiality purposes, but just wonderful lady. One thing that really stood out to me is just how much she didn't have that much interaction at home, and usually on my route, I'll take a little bit of extra time just to say, hey, how are you doing? I mean, I know her whole story, her favorite sports team.
And COVID has brought us together where we've made partnerships, very strong partnerships that previously had not been developed. And it also brought in our partners, our community partners, pantry partners, our faith-based partners. We've all come together for the greater good of our community.
And I mean, if there's any great takeaway that I've really thought about in all this. It's this we've always helped with our community. It's been an important part in our mission statement. Invest in invest in your community and it'll invest in you. I mean, that's right on our training manual mission statement, and every agent that we have, it's an integral requirement of what they do. It's how do you give back? How do you give back?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your last reminder that the auction ends at 10 p.m. tonight. You can bid on the items, on the trips, anything, and all the proceeds go to the Senior Brown Bag Program, and you can fund a need. You can help a senior out for an entire year.
Well, who am I to keep
What started out as part-time barbecue catering or donated barbecue pig dinners by a husband and wife team has turned into one of the most generous and kind organizations here in Merced County. I'm talking about one of our next presenting sponsors, the Hate Dust Project, and Rob and Andrea Bapty. He's a school administrator. She works at Travis Credit Union, and together they donate so much time, money, and effort to improve our community. Now, we are beyond thankful to have them as partners with the food bank for the work they have done in feeding people in this community. Rob and Andrea, thank you.
It's 100% bonkers. It's 100% bonkers to think that a guy that, you know, makes what I make, gives away $250,000 a year. So, no, I didn't think I would get into philanthropy. What I decided to do was to get into community somehow. It's a lot to wrap your head around. The idea that something that you can do within yourself will help someone else quite possibly for an entire year. Which brings us to tonight. A lot of folks know me through an organization called the Hate Dust Project. It's a nonprofit I started a couple years ago based on the sales of spice mixture that I'd come up with, and I started kind of crafting handmade metal goods and stuff, and so we take the sales of those products and we just give the proceeds away. Probably the worst business plan ever, but really the project idea was just to see if I could come up with something to make an impact. And so on the community scale of things, on the cosmic scale of things, it's worked out pretty well. So you're at home this evening, you're taking part in this meal, and you're wondering, what can I do to help? Why a food bank? Why our food bank? We live in the fourth most food deprived county in the country, and that's absurd. And so I just kind of figure if there was something I could do within my capacity that would kind of help people overcome that struggle. It takes kind of the thing that I do on my weekends and kind of my free time. It extends that arm with a multiplier that most of us can't provide. And so the idea that I can sacrifice drinking a Starbucks on a Sunday morning and I can bunch, a couple of those days together and I can get a senior fed for a year, that's amazing. I mean, that's, quite frankly, it's mind-boggling. And the numbers that it takes to do it aren't really large at all. And so that's why I'm here tonight. That's why I'm donating to it, because I know that the food bank's going to look out for the community. It's going to look out for kids, it's going to look out for seniors, it looks out for families every day. And that my piece of the effort is going to make a positive impact on everybody here in Merced.
So Matt, without slowing down or stopping to, because you can talk and cook, why did you get in politics?
I love the work. I've always loved the work. Ever since I was young, I was always been interested in the issues. I like people, and I love the issues. So those are the big things, and I think it really gives you a unique opportunity to to work with people, to be a part of the community, and to, you know, really make a difference. It gives you such a platform and such an opportunity to, you know, to partner with other folks and really drive the city in the right direction. So I consider really a truly an honor and unique opportunity to be able to do that.
I just learned, my wife actually asked me how come it was called the brown bag, and I guessed. And the brown bag program was started because it used to come in a brown bag.
Oh, uh-oh, that was in there for a minute.
Thank God there's 4 of them.
There, a little bacon on top. So I heard Darren McDaniel was supposed to be doing this.
Darren was scared, I heard.
He got scared.
All right, you got to get your dishes to the table. 1 entree, 1 appetizer. $75 minutes, 60 minutes for you, Robert, to create 2 dishes, 1 appetizer, 1 entree, and now we are sitting at dinner tonight. So, Robert, what have you created for Matt here?
I try to use almost everything. There's actually basmati rice on the very bottom. You can see the brown. That's actually black beans, orange juice, and pomegranate syrup blended up. And so I made a black bean puree. I tried to make it look nice, but the basmati rice didn't hold very well, so then it spilled out. So I decided to just design with that. And then on top of that, I did, and these are all grilled naan. On top of that, with stewed tomatoes is one of the things. Fried spinach as a garnish, and cooked, and then grilled potatoes with a pomegranate sauce on top.
So let's get with Matt. What have you got for appetizer for Robert here?
Well, this is a lovely pasta dish with black bean, tomato, bacon, 2 types of Parmesan cheese. One was microwaved to create a crusty, melty crust over it, and the other one again was grated Parmesan cheese, kind of like Kraft Parmesan cheese, was sprinkled over it as well. So 2 types of Parmesan cheese, and it's black bean bacon pasta dish.
All right, in front of you, you both have each other's entree dishes this time. Robert, what have you made for Matt?
I did a little Asian flair in this one. I got some peanut butter sauce in there with some soy sauce. I also cooked pomegranates and tomatoes in that sauce. And then I have, all I added to that was black beans, spinach inside, diced tomatoes from the canned tomatoes after I stewed it out. And then again, I just did fried spinach on top for a little sweetness. I took a little bit leftover pomegranate that I had here just on top. And then I did fried potatoes in there to give it some girth.
All right. Matt, what have you made over here for?
My original plan was to take the naan bread, cut it in half, grill it, and then stuff it, make like a little pita with it, and it fell apart. So I had to go to plan B, kind of call an audible here. So originally I was going to mix all this up, black beans, chicken. I marinated the chicken in orange juice, bacon. I used all the ingredients you gave, and the only one I added, fortunately the station I had was right in front of the bacon. So I had a huge advantage. Robert had the advantage in that he knew the kitchen, knew where everything was. I couldn't even find a fork. So I didn't know where anything was, but the bacon was right in front of me.
Once you found the bacon, you were good.
Yep.
Good
So
to go.
that was equal, not knowing anything, but I knew where the bacon was. So I added bacon. I did not cook the pomegranates, but I left the pomegranates in there like that. Black bean, tomato, spinach, which I sauteed. And I was going to kind of mix it all together and stuff it in, but the naan bread fell apart. So I made a big old pile of it, mixed it all up.
You stuff it himself.
And you stuff it yourself. Now, and slice it in quarters, so you have 4 different options. So, see how it goes.
Gentlemen,
Go ahead and
stuff your bread.
Yep.
Every year at Sharing the Harvest, we like to acknowledge people in our community that make it better. Through their efforts, their philanthropy, their kindness, they make Merced grow and a better place every single day. And this year is no different. This year, we would like to award our Community Leadership Award to Michael and Monica Modest. Now, they have been supporters of the food bank for many, many years, and through their efforts, their time, their donations, they have fed so many people. Check them out.
When I turned 65, I decided that I wanted to return back to California, and I looked for a little retirement job. And UC had a brand new campus here, and they wanted me, and I was excited to come, and I took Monica with me.
There's something about Merced in terms of the people. We ended up making lots of very good friends. We've been here since 2009, and we have 2021 now. The difference is incredible. It's a community that has really moved upward, has changed for the better, but to sustain that kind of change, I think we all need to be really engaged, and we need to contribute whatever we can. Is it financially? Is it in terms of, actual projects that we get involved in? And especially in today's times, the only way that we can move forward as a town, as a city, as a community is if we get together and pull the weight together. And that the ones who have share with the have-nots, because we all have hit times where we've, needed support and help. I mean, having food on the table is such a basic right and need, and if we can change that, and I think the only way we can change it is start locally, so that you can create relationships, you know about the need. You can partner with people that you feel strongly about in terms of how they go about it, how they can, distribute what you give, and then you can build from there. It's this kind of rippling effect that, we've got to start somewhere.
I think it's very important that we worry about the seniors. It's very important that we worry about the kids, and especially homeless kids. So we need to come up with vehicles to make that their food insecurity goes away. And I think the food bank is one of the forerunners and doing a good job in achieving just that.
Right, and as far as seniors are concerned, I think it's almost like they're the forgotten ones. I mean, like you said, you assume that they've lived their lives, they've had a job, you assume they have some savings, assume they have a support system, and that they're taken care of. And I've just, with my projects where I worked with a lot of senior citizen centers or senior citizens, I was shocked to see how many of those people were living on their own and barely had any kind of social contact, and also had needs such as basic as food not really being met. What you don't see, you don't really pay attention to, you don't know about. So if you can really shine the spotlight on them and make people realize how much help they need and that that's a real need, I think that's extremely important.
The food bank, especially the food bank in Merced, has always been at the top of our list as an outfit that really does good for the people in need.
We would like to, and we need to share what we have, and the food bank, I've been really impressed with the work they do. That's one of the things that you look for when you donate money. You want the money to be used well, and the food bank certainly does.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Sharing the Harvest this year. Tonight we are fundraising for our senior brown bag program at the food bank to help the 1 in 5 seniors currently suffering from food insecurity in our community. It's not too late to donate. You can still click the link at the bottom of the page, and you can bid on an auction item or just fund the need. Help a senior out tonight. And to all of our donors, our sponsors, United Way Hate Dust Project, 510 Bistro that helped with the food that was picked up or delivered, and our volunteers, we just want to say thank you. Good night.
Let's do it.
Right.
Yeah.
When all the world is a hopeless jumble and the raindrops tumble all around, heaven opens a magic lane. When all the clouds darken up the skyway, there's a rainbow highway to be found, leading from your window pane to a place behind the sun, just a step beyond the somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I've heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops way above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, birds fly over that rainbow. Why, then oh, why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond